Hey, welcome to another Mammoth Battle Report. My name is Tom and I'll be playing Kaelyssa with Ret today.
I'm Glen. I'm normally playing Signar, but today I'm playing Pharaoh with minions, and I'm playing in theme with Thornfall Alliance.
I just noticed it's Dr. Arkadius. I just noticed the army in War Room is called The Doctor Is In. That's excellent.
You've got to give your War Room, Tom. You've got to give your War Room list a good name.
Right, it's just called Kaelyssa, unfortunately. It's worth saying as well. These are both very new armies to us. So
very new.
I've been playing Ret this is my fourth game with Ret, my second with Kaelyssa.
This is also my fourth game. With Dr. Arkadius, it's my seventh game as a Pharaoh or minions player, and my seventh game of Hordes in Mark III.
Yeah, it's worth saying I've been playing Trollbloods, probably you might have seen a few of the other videos, and it's a very big change of pace. You can kill things from further than like a stick can reach. You don't have to run over and hit somebody in the head. You've got these things that like fire projectiles. It's really novel. Anyway, yeah, really good game today. It's quite a long one, but it'll be worth it.
Are we going to run down some lists first?
Yeah. So I'm playing, Kaelyssa. It's not in a theme force. And again, it's going to sound like quite a newbie army, and I suppose it is. So it's Kaelyssa with Sylys, and her battle group is just 2 Hydras. Obviously, they're really good with Refuge, so that's cool. Then I've got the full unit of Sentinels with the UA. Again, great for Blur, great for not being charged with defeat. A full unit of Mage Hunters with the Mage Hunter Commander. Elara 1 with Discordia, because that's a super fun combo.
Death Shadow, or is she?
No, that's the full Warlock version.
I don't know how I know that name.
Elara, Tyro with the third chamber.
Oh!
Is Elara 1's title if you're interested. And then the 3 mechanics to round out the list, and I think that's everything. It's worth saying as well, they look quite painted looking them on here. They are, again, I've only had the army for about a month, so it's quite unpainted. And people have said in the past, like, we really appreciate your feedback, and people have said in the past, oh, it's a shame you guys use unpainted minis. And we do try our best, and so both of us here, we've had these armies for not long. We're cracking on with the painting.
At least they look yellow.
Yeah, they do. In fact, you know what? I think if I'd not said anything, you wouldn't be able to tell. But I have said something, so there you go.
Yeah. So anyway, my list is the Thornfall Alliance, the theme list. So that means that all the beasts get Retaliatory Strike. I get a couple of free solos. So the list is Dr. Arkadius with the attachment Targ. He's got 3 Warhogs, 1 Roadhog, and 1 Battle Boar. I think it's a fairly typical Arkadius list. I've got Rosh and Brian in there, a minimum unit of Pharaoh Bone Grinders, and a full unit of Pharaoh Brigands and a Pharaoh Brigand Warlord. The Brigands are in there to kind of give me a bit of a sandpaper unit, which is not something this kind of army is a bit glass hammer, so I like to have them in there while I'm learning, because at least there's something to take the flak at the start of the game.
Yes, well, given that I've been playing Doomshaper 3 with all the Troll Beasts, and what that army misses out on is the volume of attacks and the spot removal. Whereas a unit of Brigands will actually do a really good job at that. So
I think eventually it might turn into a meat thresher, but I think I need to get a bit better with Arkadius. He's about the Alpha Strike, and he's about buffing his beasts so they hit harder and they survive longer than they should do. But Pharaoh beasts aren't particularly tough anyway, which is something I've learned over the course of the last 4 games. The first 3 games with this were into Kador, Jaws, and the Wolf lists, either under Butcher 3 or Man in the Machine, forgotten his name, Karchev. So, and there's been 7 or 8 Kador heavies, and what's happened is that the army has charged in, killed the first 2 or 3 Kador heavies, and then consequently been removed by the remaining 5 or 6, as the Pharaohs aren't that hard. The only hope I seem to have is that with Retaliatory Strike granted by the themes, they all have critical knockdown on their gore. Sorry, I'm babbling on. So hopefully I can knock them down before they hit me, and it'll all be great. So Tom's going first.
Hooray! Yeah, so this forest for me is bloody perfect, because the Mage Hunters can...
Did you just do a swear?
Bloody?
That counts as a swear.
Okay. I'll try and keep the limits to 1. So it's perfect for me. They can hide behind there, and then they can use their mini feet to see through it. And they've got Pathfinder, so if they need to, they can even charge through it, which sometimes catch people off guard. But they're going to be nice and safe behind there. Kaelyssa walks up, she puts Banishing Wards on the Mage Hunters. It's not likely he's going to put Crippling Grasp on them, but there's not a good reason not to put it on there. She put Refuge on herself, which is always nice, and then Blur on the Sentinels. It's also worth mentioning that the Sentinels are the Pharaoh Brigand's prey, so I'm thinking they're going to be defensive effectively 13 to your guns, which is quite nice against the prey, like either prey.
Still 6s to hit? Yeah. I was fancying it.
6s?
Yeah. They start at 5, go up.
Yeah, no, I included that. So it's +3, -2. So I'm effectively defense 13 to your base. I've already made my first mistake of the game. Interestingly,
I made mine before yours. Carry on. I'll get there in a minute.
That's the standard bearer from that Sentinel unit should have just run into the back corner of the board, because he's not going to be needed. And then when they die, he can't shift prey anywhere else. And obviously, I know that I've played a lot of games against prey things, and then you're unpacking your new army, you just forget. So
it's over to me. The first mistake I made in the game was I actually won the roll to go first. I forgot how the game works, panicked, and just chose a board side. I should have gone first, didn't. So I'm
on the other hand, I would have had that hill, which would have been quite useful.
True. So I'm now reacting to Tom. I've seen that hill. Like I said, I've moved Arkadius up behind it. He's behind a smoke ring from the objective there. The Pharaoh have advanced and have dug in because they don't want to get shot by a Mage on the strike force on turn 1, which they are well in range of. So I've got to kind of make a bit of not a fortress, because pigs aren't that hard, but a bit of a bunker against the matrons here. So Arkadius moved up behind his Roadhog on the hill. He's cast Forced Evolution on the Roadhog to make sure it doesn't die. 2 Warhogs have moved up base to base. Arkadius has also put up Aggravator, giving everybody hyper aggressive. So I'm gonna where I've moved the Roadhogs to, I'm gonna try and get some better charge angles using the hyper aggressive. If Tom starts to shoot me, which I'm gonna guess he will. Brian has moved up as well behind, because it's kind of a background tactic to this is the Brian delivery. Like, Brian can have a 15-inch threat that's non-linear to your enemy caster. As I've learned in the past couple of games, the key is to not flank with him, which is what I have been doing, where he just doesn't get to where he needs to be and tends to get killed pretty early. So he's using the 2 Warhogs as bodyguards, if anything, here, and he's going to try and get some more work done later on in the game. So I think we're over to Tom's second turn now. I've moved up and see what he's got.
Yeah, and for me, it seems a shame to throw the Mage Hunters away, but there's so many juicy targets for them. I mean, Arkadius was maybe an option on the table. He's got a few transfers and he's defense 17 on the hill.
2.
Yeah, but so I don't think I would have got it anyway. And even then we were thinking, let's not do that for the recording, eh? We do play to win on these, but it was also like, yeah. So, but instead I'm thinking there's a lot of good choices there. I can try and get rid of Brian. If I can shoot Roche to death, then Brian goes away, and that's amazing. That's a trade I'll make all day. The Pharaoh Brigand unit leader who's put prey on the Sentinels is good. I was thinking, oh no, he's dug in, but I forgot, of course, the Phantom Barrage does ignore cover, so he wouldn't have been dug in. But
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I forgot the time. You said dug in, I went, oh, yeah, of course. But,
sorry, mate.
No.
Not trying to see
you gave me the information, and I just terribly interpreted it wrong. Also, what I'm thinking is, I want to be able to shoot those 2 beasts with Discordia Spray, but I'm not going to be able to because of how they're positioned. So I'm thinking I'm going to move 1 Mage Hunter into the way, so I can target my own Mage Hunter to get the spray aligned in the middle of the 2 of them. So not so. So
there's some ranges being measured to Roche. One day, Roche is correct. I keep saying Roche or Brian for the beast or the Warlock, but I'll get there in the end. So I think this is some shots being lined on him, judging by where that tape measure is. He's a guy on the back of the hill there. The odds are kind of, I'm not going to say stacked against, but they're on 9s to hit with him being on a hill.
It's not great. It's less than likely, but worth a go. This guy, interestingly, I accidentally positioned him a bit too far away, so I was like, oh, I guess I'll bin a shot into Targ, who's hiding behind that house.
Oh, they've popped mini feet at this point.
They've popped mini feet.
Which I hadn't anticipated.
Yeah, and then just wings Targ from behind the house with 1 random shot, so that was kind of lucky. Then the rest of them, they do go on, and I think I do 4 damage.
Yeah, luckily, Roche seems to weather 10 shots that I really thought were going to go somewhere else. I thought it was going to be the Pharaoh Brigands in the dirt, or...
It was a gamble, but obviously if it goes off from there and then I'm up 1 heavy already, then that's just so good. It didn't work out in the end. I think if we'd done the maths, maybe it wasn't likely enough and it was a bad choice, but...
Here comes Discordia anyway.
Discordia does that thing that I said I was going to do. Kills the Mage Hunter, which is kind of a shame, but yeah.
So it hits the 2 Roadhogs. I'm trying to decide where to hyper aggressive to, I think.
It's a tough one so early in the turn, I think.
Yeah, so I think I get 1 and I try and get him into combat. In fact, I don't. I just go crazy. Okay, at some point in this game, I may get him into combat with one of the Mage Hunter strike force.
Yeah.
So he's just advanced straight up. Worryingly, from this angle, in front of 2 Hydras, which apparently I didn't see.
Yeah, they do. Again, that's Ret. They do have guns, despite not having a cannon strapped to their arm. They can shoot you. So that's one thing I like about Ret. Guns don't always look like guns.
Discordia is not refuge, but whatever Elara's spell is called.
Speed of Death, I think it's called.
Speed of Death.
She's so cool.
She is quite cool.
All of her names on everything is so cool.
She's not as cool as pigs. Just saying.
Yeah, less puns.
Yeah, just more apparently solid facts.
I didn't get a choice to to hog wild with my pig iron.
We've missed some of the turn. Look, your caster's activated.
Oh, we have. So she's just shooting that warhog again.
The overeager warhog.
It starts off 6 on the damage, but you never know. You might get these few pips that might come up later in the game, and she used her feet as well.
You can see on my phone there, he's taking a bit of a chew.
Yeah, so she's
been chewed up a little bit.
She did like the odd 2 and 3 points with her shots, as I remember. So that's nice.
Is this
Yeah, he's shooting the same pig there.
I forgot what they're even called.
Hydra.
Thank you.
Part of the reason we're playing.
There's the hyper aggressive into the
yeah, which I didn't even think about.
For the combat bonus.
It is an obvious play. I considered charging as well, but then if I charge, then it's a trade of a largely Rex heavy for one of my pristine heavies, and I don't want to do that. So
that's fair.
I mean, even then, staying still, with the boosted hit, I've got a very good chance of hitting him anyway, and I do, and I finish with the shot. So.
See, I was obviously not happy to lose a heavy, but kind of not surprised. But
yeah,
at the same time, I was kind of thought I still have the 2 remaining, so I can hopefully get some pressure on there. I can still hopefully trade effectively when you jack up a Warhog with Primal and Forced Evolution and Full Boar, which is its own special rule. Aggression Dial is what it's called. Full Boar's the other one, the Roadhog.
Good job.
They end up, I didn't write the pun. I think it was probably one of the wills.
Oh, sorry, one thing before I forget. One thing being a Kaelyssa noob, I've forgotten to keep those guys within 14 inches so the Fire Brigands can shoot and charge those 3 Sentinels on the end all day long.
So it's come to my turn too, and I'm looking at my Roadhog's flamethrower and where best to toast the most elves. I decide that the Mage Hunters, now they've popped their feet, aren't quite such a threat to the mini feet, aren't quite such a threat to Arkadius. So I'm just proxying out where I can try and roast the most Sentinels there. I do have the Pharaoh Brigands with prey on them, but Elara, what's her name? Kaelyssa has popped her feet, so there's only the top little bundle of 3 there that I can actually shoot because the rest of them have stealth. But the Roadhog can get a very decent spray across nine monsters at the front there. Dr. Arkadius right behind it and can inject it with his raw adrenaline. It'll take a point of damage, but it'll fully boost the spray.
And I'm there thinking, yeah, but their defense 15 to all the shooting, so you can be hitting on 10s.
Thanks to Blur.
Let's see how that works out for me.
So while I'm contemplating that, I've left the proxy there. I've realised that Warhogs can just die, and I'm wondering die to shooting. So I'm wondering what best to do with the 2 that are remaining, because at the moment they're just not going to get there. They're just going to die one a turn, and I'll lose the fight. So there's that to think about. There's the Roadhog to think about, and what the Pharaoh are going to do. The Pharaoh are pretty cut and dry, so they're going to take some shots at the exposed 3 Sentinels at the top, which I'm trying to remove. With the prey there, it really helps them out.
Yeah.
They go up to Rat 7, which is impressive for a pig, and power. Stop laughing. And power 12. Starting at power 12, going to power 14, which is really respectable when it comes to cracking infantry.
Incredible.
Yeah. It also works if you get Arkadius crippling grasp onto someone that's effectively power 16, so they can ruin a heavy if they really get going.
Again, sorry.
That's 2 swears. Do we need a swear jar for the Mammoths thread thing?
Yeah.
I think there's only going to be you paying into it. So this is the classic pig split, as I've watched one YouTube video and this is what someone did on it. So the idea is that because the Sentinels in front have Vengeance, you can Vengeance the front line, but probably not all of them. And you won't be in threat range to get the back line, who'll have another round of shoots at you before hopefully they can come and hog wild and shoot before they're charging.
I think
getting
for that,
in combat.
I mean, spoiler alert, there's not enough Sentinels left to do that. But I don't think they're actually far enough back. I think that if those Sentinels are still there, they would have the range to chop the ones at the front, then charge the ones at the back, especially if you've got Boundless Charge with the mini feet.
So here's my boosted 10 spray anyway. I've got 6 of them under it. One of them's the UA. I toasted the first guy. I missed the second guy, toasted the third, toasted the fourth, toasted the standard bearer, and toasted the officer. It was a great spray.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, I'm a Signal player. I think it was possibly the best spray of my life because we just didn't have them
Alan
back then.
Strangeway says otherwise.
No, he doesn't.
Yes.
He never did that, mate. He was never that good. Anyhow, I digress. So the Roadhog has done his thing. I'm trying to help do this Warhog, and the answer to save him from shooting was to bung him in combat with a load of elves and hopefully into the woods, which would give him a high enough defence to survive. At least, hopefully, a couple of the jack shots would miss, and then the next turn I can use Arkadius' feet to get him out of there, charge out of there, and then hopefully start wrecking some backline stuff or get to a heavy. The other Warhog positions to try and do the same thing, but altogether not very well because he kind of gets stuck behind the building. And Rosh is going to move up. He's going to do a diversionary tactic, so Brian gets to make an advance. And advance is going to go with the same trick as the Warhog and try and plough into the elves in front of him and set himself up to charge out of there next turn. He starts goring some elves. I think he misses most of them.
I think he got one.
Yeah, I got one. There you go. So there's now the wall of pigs pretty much in front of Tom. So it's what he can feasibly kill to stop popping out of the woods next turn.
Yeah. At this point, I'm feeling it's not. My whole time I've been planning on these the Sentinels going in and doing a lot of damage, taking off a heavy and that sort of thing, clearing this zone and sitting on the flag. And obviously that's not the case now because I've only got 4 of them left. So. And again, at this point, I don't take the time to plan my turn properly. I just kind of throw their attacks everywhere and I do a bit of damage for everything. Which at the start of the game, I was thinking, I've got to be taking off a heavy. I can't be spreading my damage around. And instead, that is what I did, and it wasn't great.
So I'm taking some vengeance hits here from the Sentinels.
Yeah. I think I upkeep all my spells.
You think you meant to know? It's all about preparation. See?
Yeah.
Here's me taking a bit more damage spread.
Yeah.
So my trick about
I
was going to say my trick of staying in combat to avoid getting shot is possibly about to come undone. Where it turns out he may well be in charge range of a jack
measured
anyway.
it and I wasn't quite in the end. I was out by a tiny spot. But again, you think if I had charged, I would have killed it. But again, that warhog who's hiding behind the building.
The third wave.
Yeah, then trades and
well, like Soviets, but piggy.
Yeah, and there doesn't seem a lot of reasons to do that when instead I can shoot a big PAL 15 at him and be totally safe because again, where he's put that warhog with the house, even with the feet, he's not gonna really.
I'm gambling on the big old PAL 15 missing at this point. Not gonna say if it does or doesn't. That was my thinking.
Yeah. So again, I think this is the Sentinel's going again, and I'm just trying to rip my way through.
They're trying to take some lumps out. Now, the Forced Evolution Roadhog there is causing a problem because there's a couple of guys swing and miss.
Yeah. It's on 7s as well, so it's very likely. But again, they just don't do a lot of damage. Like you can see the grid there, they just do little bits of piecemeal, and it was silly. They didn't get the charge bonus because I'd moved in for vengeance, and that was kind of silly. I should have just waited. But yeah.
So I'm still waiting to see if Tom can remove either the Warhog in the woods or Brian, because if he doesn't, then he's going to have a big problem next turn. So
because again, I'm considering, can I shoot Rorsch with a ghost shot? But I think he's sitting on transfers, and it's not too likely. Discordia again does a trick. I realised that I didn't get anywhere near the value out of Discordia this game. I don't like because just popping out and doing 1 PAL 14 spray on a beast, especially a beast that doesn't really want to use Animus. Not actually that great.
She never did a protective or a bonus thing.
No,
whatever it is she actually does.
I always think about that. There are a lot of rules in this army. Like especially Kaelyssa is one of these casters who has a lot of spells, and you will cast them all. It's not that caster who relies on this 1 or 2 spells. I mean, there are a couple of real standouts there, but there's a lot to remember. So yeah, this is the Hydra shooting that Warhog that's in combat, and I do manage to hit.
See, I really thought he'd miss, but he didn't.
I mean, no.
I didn't run the maths. I just assumed I was really high defense and you were really bad at shooting, but it didn't work. I should have run the maths and I was average defense.
I think I did run the maths, and I just went, boosted shots tend to hit beasts.
I think we're dead good at this game.
We really are.
Did you? Was that Kaelyssa shooting your own Mage Hunter in the back and thusly freeing me from combat, and then
that was that? Yeah, I missed hit the Mage. That wasn't an intentional clever play. I missed you and hit the Mage Hunter instead.
And then it freed me up, and then I got shot and removed. So for the second turn in a row, I've lost a Warhog, and my other Warhog is trapped behind a house due to my own clever positioning.
And I'm feeling pretty good. There's not a lot of retaliation I'm going to take, and so hopefully next turn I can just keep this whole thing of 2 big PAL 15 blasts from the backfield.
Here's the suicidal Mage Hunters just charging in to try and gum up.
Yeah,
Brian.
They didn't seem to have a lot better use because they could have maybe killed 3 brigands, but so what? You get a good dice spike on them. Sometimes they do more damage than you might expect, but in this case that didn't really happen. In fact, 2 of them missed on 6s, so that was annoying.
So is this just a
just the mechanics doing around?
See, it really confused me because obviously the mechanics fuel up the Hydras after everything else, where normally Arcanist would just go first and do whatever they're going to do.
And I think that's actually going to be a downfall because if I start playing jacks that aren't Hydras, I'm going to forget about that.
So this is my turn 3, and I've got 4 or 5 jamming models in front of me, which ideally I want to kind of remove with the least effort possible to try and free up that Roadhog and free up Brian. If I can get Brian out of there, then he can potentially go and wreck that Hydra in front of him. And if I can, if Brian doesn't manage it, I was thinking I could get the Roadhog he can just about get a line of sight, as long as I can clear 3 Sentinels and 1 lone Mage Hunter that can come out with him.
As well, the Sentinels obviously they've lost their UA, so they've not got Iron Zeal. and
I didn't realise that.
and 2 of them are base to base, and 2 of them are out in the wind, so they're only def 12. The ones that armor 15 are doing it, they're bonus, get armor bonus. So they're actually nowhere near the brick that you quite often see Sentinels being. I've dropped Blur on them as well, so no.
So I'm thinking about some plans. I'm thinking how much work the Pharaoh Brigands can get done. Bear in mind base positions. In the end, a snippet of my genius apparently was to get Rosh to go and lob a stick of dynamite onto the back of a mage hunter that was in combat. I boost a hit. In fact, you can even see the dice from here, and smash them all in the face with it.
Take this.
So Rosh frees up Brian, which I think is quite fitting, except for one last Dawnguard who is just to the north of the woods, shall we say.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't take 3 strikes from a Dawnguard.
No, so I charge in with my Bone Grinders, which is, as I just remembered before, the only thing they do this game is to charge and make 2 attacks here, and they both miss.
Oh, yeah, that's fun.
They did literally nothing else in the game. Like, I didn't craft Talisman, which is what they're in the list for. But what they do is they manage to trap a Roadhog in even more. So I go back into the tank, shall we say, and I'm still trying to wonder, I'm still thinking about if the Pharaoh Brigands can get to where they need to be. And then I realise that they have Hog Wild, so if I get lucky, I can shoot a couple of the guys on the way in, and that'll free up. There's 2 Pharaoh Brigands just behind the wall. I was going to point at the screen then, but it's not going to work. There's 2 Pharaoh Brigands just behind the wall near the flag, and if I can free them up with the rest of the units shooting, those 2 can charge across the front of my Roadhog, kill the models that are in his way, and reposition out of the way, and thusly open the charge lane. And I was like, I'm well happy with this.
I do like any plan that's like, I just ping those guys for shooting out of combat. There's defense 80 mage hunters in combat. I'll just shoot them. That's fine.
Yeah, it starts with boosted 9s, which I start taking a couple of shots.
Boosted 9s?
No, not boosted 9s, just 9s, and I get 2 of them. I start to think about shooting the guy behind the wall in combat and realise his defense 400, so don't. But I do get the 2 that I need to, so I can get the charges in. So that was the start of the Hog Wild order, so we shoot first and then we charge. So the unit leader charges the Dawnguard because it's his prey, and the guy behind him who's not a unit leader charges... Oh no, sorry, this guy here just about gets line of sight to the Mage Hunter. The other guy couldn't charge because he's going to get free struck by a Dawnguard. This guy tries to get in but doesn't, and I have a few runs just to keep up. So, like I said, I try and leave a space to repo into, because often I'll do this plan and then I'll run with some of them and then block the other ones in for repositioning. So I make some hits. I kill the Dawnguard, but I don't manage to kill the Mage Hunter. So I've just got the Mage Hunter to clear. I'm fairly happy with this. And I realise that Arkadius can cast Primal Shock at it, which he does.
That's what
kills it.
Again, I've played a bit of Doomy 2, and it's such a useful spell. And people always go, you can go and kill a caster with it. It's brilliant. Like, you run a Mountain King in it, but there's so much more utility to it than that. It's a really useful spell.
So I have freed up the Roadhog. So Brian is going to go in now, and he's going to try and trash the Hydra in front of him. I'm trying to debate whether or not to pop my feet, and it turns out that because of my silly positioning of my own Bone Grinder, the Roadhog doesn't actually have the charge that I was aiming for after all this onto the Hydra. This is us realising this. This is me clutching at straws. But in the end, he can't get there because he's kind of got to go miles away. I'm still trying to fight it. Then I've got a tapping thumb there. That's me trying to figure out what else to do now that my plan that was going really well hasn't done. So I decided to sack that one for a minute, and I know Brian's good. I try to decide whether or not it's worth popping feet because I thought I had the charge. I don't. So I choose not to pop the feet in the end.
This is brilliant.
Arkadius decides to try and remove the Pharaoh that's in the way with another Primal Shock. Hits it and he passes a tough roll, of course he does. So he's still in the way, but now he's knocked down.
He's my boy. Best one of my army, that guy.
He's a pig. So Brian's had enough. I've literally got annoyed and cast Primal on something. So I cast Primal on Brian.
Who in fairness totally gets the job done.
Who, to be fair, goes and smashes 7 bells out of a Hydra.
I think he does it with he's even got a
I think he goes with 1 to spare. Yeah, Retjacks are about as hard as Pigs. To be fair, they're armor 18, defense 12. I think probably about the same size grid, about 32. 30 boxes.
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
So under Primal he's hitting at power 17 with his face gore, and then power 16 with his 2 fists. So he manages to beat that up, which is good. So now I realise that the Roadhog has got 1 charge target, and it's the objective. So I measure out if he can just walk and try and flame some Arcanist, but then I realise he can charge it if I use full Boar, so he takes D3 damage at the end of his activation but gets +2 speed. So that can potentially start the scenario game for me as well. So I go with that plan. I send his assault spray to the back lines of the top of the trenches. Managed to snag myself a Wyshnalyrr in the process on a hard 9 or something like that to hit him. There he goes. And start to claw at the box.
Yeah.
Leaves on about 5 health.
Yeah, I really didn't see this play coming, to be fair. This really did surprise me. But on the other hand, you did run him out of control, and so I was...
Yeah, I didn't mean to do that, did I?
Yeah.
So I kind of threw him away, but at the same time, it's not something that Tom can ignore. Like
And also, it's like the box is on fire. It really starts a scenario game, because once that Dawnguard's dead on the top flag, I'm going to have to waste turns literally running a jack over there, and then by that time they'll kill him, they'll have prey, they might just rip the jackpot once it gets there. I'm really worried about starting to delve deep into the scenario pit here.
So between the Roadhog and Brian, the Warhog's now feeling a bit more confident as run around the front of his building to try and get charged next turn if he survives, thinking that there's now 3 heavies for him to kill in one turn as opposed to killing 1 of 3 heavies every turn.
This is great. Okay. So the Sentinel finally kills the guy, kills the Brigand officer, and therefore is freed from the shackles of prey. Like
Warlord.
Sorry. So the predators become the prey, become the predator. The hunters become the hunter. However that phrase goes. Yeah. So this turn again, I'm thinking Brian's going to frenzy next turn, so that's okay. That Roadhog's likely to frenzy, so that's okay. So I can feed them 2 mechanics, and that's great times. The Discordia and Hydra can take care of that Warhog, and then I can sit on that flag, and I can get my way back into the scenario game, so I'm not too worried about, and then I'm hoping like maybe next turn I'll be able to shoot the objective as well, and then not only am I not going down the scenario game, I'm looking like I can maybe even bag a scenario victory. That's kind of where I'm feeling now. The problem is that Discordia wants to charge that beast, but Retaliatory Strike and Crit Knockdown can really, like, if he gets that, that's going to lose me the game. So instead, what I do is I decide to slam him, because then he's going to clip the house from where I am.
It's a sensible option.
He only moves back like less than a quarter of an inch, and then he's knocked down. So no again. I'm playing Doom 3 Retaliatory Strike on Mulg. People do this to me, and it's annoying. If not going Black Whale Suit for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Different caster, not important. So I do knock him down. I don't manage to kill him. I don't think I managed to kill him, but I've
spent too much focus.
But I've made him lose his spirit, so he's effectively out for next turn because he can't force to. Oh no, so that's not true, because you can use your feet. Because I was like, I'm knocked out his spirit, so he can't force to stand up. But fine. But you can use your feet, and then when you frenzy, you shake all effects, including knockdown. So then he'll be up, and he'll charge that guy, and then he can activate and kill that jack, and then he's right in front of my castle. Got a real problem. So Kaelyssa shoots him in the head a bunch of times and leaves him on 2 boxes. Is that?
Yeah, I think it's 2, but this only leaves Tom with 1 quality shot to go.
Yeah, and that guy, he really didn't want to be shooting that Warhog.
There's a genius moment. Tom tries to tie up a Roadhog with an Arcanist, and only to get Retaliatory Strike.
Yeah, I could have run over there. I was like, no, screw it, I'm charging you. You're getting a multi-tool in the eye. And in fairness, it did a point of damage, but then Retaliatory Strike kills him. So now he's going to frenzy into my box. So hooray.
And it's not a given he's going to frenzy. He's got 2 focus, Fury, whatever it is. Yeah. He's got 2 Fury, and he's out of control.
That Hydra does end up shooting the Warhog, because I was like, I'm going to lose a jack if that thing stays alive. So at least here, even if that Roadhog doesn't frenzy, it's got 2 Fury on it, so that's okay. And I'm feeling fairly safe for this turn, but Glen has other things in mind.
So Brian is it's going back up to me now. Brian is potentially going to frenzy, and the Roadhog is Brian is going to frenzy. The Roadhog is potentially going to frenzy. So I take the threshold check and I pass it on a 5 there, so the Roadhog doesn't frenzy, which is very, very handy. Mm-hmm. So Tom's had to 5 models, and I've got heavy within 8 on the initiative of his caster, and I'm thinking if I can get the box out of the way, I can potentially get a Roadhog onto Kaelyssa, and she's in a trench, but that's not going to matter. If I can use Arkadius' feat, so Arkadius' feat is that all your beasts frenzy. It's called Monster Mayhem, which is cool. And if when you frenzy, your charge target is in Arkadius' control range, you can choose that charge target as opposed to the normal frenzy rules, which means that you're going to go and charge your own friend. So my theory is either I can try and clear the box with the remaining brigands, which I try and do here. You can see I'm going to start taking some shots. They're on dice -6 though, so the odds aren't on. It's only got 5 health. But I figure I can at least try and possibly ping it, and then that's an easy job done. The other option is to use the feat to frenzy and kill the box, and then thusly free the Roadhog up. The Roadhog's already got 2 Fury on him, and obviously I couldn't have taken that off at the start of the turn because it was out of control.
How did you kill the box in the end, sorry?
The actual answer to killing the box was to cast Primal Shock on it.
I thought it was, yeah.
So Arkadius activated, he's boosted a Primal Shock into the box, killed the box, and freed the way to go and get Kaelyssa. The spray template you can see there is the range of Rorsch's gun. So what I'm hoping for...
to knock her down, I suppose.
What I'm hoping for is for Arkadius to now pop his feet and choose Kaelyssa as a target. The Roadhog can go and charge her. He'll have a boosted attack with his gore, which hopefully will get a critical knockdown, do some damage. And then more, I can use maltreatment, which is you remove one of the Fury that's already on him, so that can get him another 3. However, I charge in, the Roadhog is in my control, but Kaelyssa isn't. So when I pop my feet, which I don't do in the end, I can't choose her as a target. So in the end, I have to use maltreatment, I have to charge in regularly and boost the roll to hit with his gore.
Thankfully, I get lucky and you do hit me, but you don't knock me down, and it's a huge deal.
Yeah, if I would have knocked her down, I could have bought some more attacks on her and presumably just smashed her in the face.
Yeah.
However, the fact that I didn't get the crit means that it's not worth making the play with Roche because he's just going to miss. She's in a trench.
Defense
24, yeah. So, I mean, even if she was knocked down, she would have been defense, I'm going to say.
You won't be a melee, so only 9.
Oh, yeah, okay, no, it's not that hard.
Quite doable.
Yeah. So, but even so, I'm not in a bad spot because... although Brian is frenzied, Brian is still threatening.
Yeah,
there's still a Roadhog onto Kaelyssa. The problem I have is that Arkadius has committed a bit more than he ever should really do. Because I was kind of hoping the game had been done. The assassination run has failed, so at this point,
I suppose actually as well, I was only on 5 health at this point. So if you got that extra primal shard,
I did not know that.
Yeah, so I suppose that. I mean, I've got the transfers, but even then, I think you've got to achieve you would have hit and the transfer, sorry, the.
So
reinforced battlefield is what's called.
Yeah. So the battle balls run up to try and jam Discordia.
Forgetting that I've got a ghost shot, which we have to cast anyway to go through that forest.
The Pharaoh, I forgot what they're called. I want to say slaughterhouses, but they're not those.
Bone grinders.
Bone grinders, thank you.
Right. Anyway, you're done.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It's a pretty important turn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is, I
should slow these videos down.
I need to get Kaelyssa out of combat because she needs to start. Arkadius is on 4 transfers. She needs to shoot him with her gun with Siphon Bolt to get rid of all those transfers, and then the Hydra can go in and finish him off. But I'm in melee with a Roadhog, and even if I use a focus point to get rid of the extra damage, there's still a very real chance he'll kill me, or that he'll knock me down, and that ends the game too. So, and what have I got on him? I go, let's try this first. Elara, power 10. You never know when you might get that boxcars. I do not get that boxcars, and I think she does 2 points of damage to him, and I feel kind of silly.
Still alright, his grid he's still got quite a lot of health.
Yeah, I've still got... so that means... Because I was hoping that if I can kill him, then Discordia can also get a spray off on there, and that helps, but that's not going to happen now. So Discordia instead has to take a free strike off that
Battle Boar, yes. Primal bot.
Primal bot. Yeah, but that does mean that Discordia can walk over there and get the Warhog. Yeah, the Roadhog, sorry. And
with a spray.
Yeah. As well, if I take off the mind, then you can't hit me, and that feels good. I don't even need to kill. I just need to take off the mind, and the mind's only got 2 boxes left in it. So I get the hit, I boost damage roll, I leave him on 3 damage, one of which is, of course, in
every
the
aspect.
Mind. In every aspect.
You can see it on my phone there.
There you go. So, well, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. So at this point, I'm going like, well, I've committed too much now. I can't pull this back any other way, so I'm going to have to take that free strike, aren't I?
So,
which is always good, because obviously if this works, then I've lost the game.
So I'm nearly on
8 to hit, and you roll a 7. So I got really lucky, and then I spring into action. Here we go. So I cast Ghost Shot on myself. And then I forget exactly how I boost. You can probably
so Arkadius is on 4 transfers, but 4 Fury. As Kaelyssa shoots him, she steals the Fury off him. So I have to sort of run a very quick bit of maths as to what is best to do. And the first couple of shots only score a couple of points off, so I just kind of take those. That's me remove my Fury as I get shot. Eventually, she gets him down to, I think, 1 Fury with her last... she takes his last... No, let me get this right. The last shot is a high roll, and I have to transfer
that's
it.
Right.
That's in front of us now.
And I've got 2 left, which I used to cast Ghost Shot onto the Hydra.
So Arkadius is now on 0.
And the Hydra power boost is range 15, power 15, Ghost Shot boosts him.
And blows his head off.
I was worried. This is my last shot, and I was worried. I was like, oh no, he's a minion. Has he got tough?
He's a crazy old doctor who lives in the woods. He is the opposite of tough.
You never know, though, do you? I mean, so's Doomshaper.
True. Yeah. Yep.
But
I
yeah.
assume he lives in the woods. He looks like he lives in the woods. He lives with pigs. Anyway, I think we're done here.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching. I really enjoyed this one. I think it's one of my favourite games we've recorded so far. It was a blast. It's always good surviving an assassination roll on such little health and then doing such a ropey one in return and actually coming off.
Yeah, like I said, I think we both probably have a lot to learn about our factions, but we both really enjoyed the game.
Also, if either's got any rules wrong, please do comment, let us know.
We
because
probably have.
Yeah.
We probably got maths wrong. We probably got everything wrong.
Yeah.
It'd be fine.
One thing I say we should have forgot to say at the start, we record at War Games in Southport. Tuesday night we usually have about 8 War Machine players down. We're always looking for games, so if you ever want to pop in, we're a very friendly bunch. Do come and say hello. We'd love to give you a game. Also, there's plenty of people playing a lot of Malifaux, loads of board gamers down here.
Yeah.
Most things, like, you could probably get a game off, so do pop down, say hello.
Okay, plug done.
Yeah,
Plug
comment,
done.
like, subscribe, blah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Right, bye.
Bye.